Hi, everybody. Welcome to Power Up. We are so very excited to have you here today. The PWR in Power stands for...
Playing, watching, and reading. And this is our off week from having a guest. So it's just Trisha and I kicking back, talking about all the things that we have been playing, watching, reading the last 2 weeks, which is going to be super exciting. I know I've been super busy and you've been super busy, but we've managed to get some things in and we will talk about it and break it down. We're going to do it all with the help of Amy Cassandra Martinez, who actually comes in to deliver the news.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Hey. What's going on in the world of playing? What do we got? What's the news?
Well, so this one kind of meshes P and W a little bit, but I put it in power and P and play.
It sounds funny when you say I put it in P. I'm sorry. I have a 3-year-old. It's very funny to me.
I'm surprised I didn't catch it. I'm disappointed in myself.
So Amazon Studios announced that they're making a Fallout TV series. The Westworld creators, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, are serving as producers. So yeah, I mean, there are no plot details yet or casting information. So it's kind of unclear like how they're going to be adapting that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's interesting because Fallout is obviously like post-apocalyptic. So we're still staying with that. Don't know when it'll be released, but it's happening.
All right, Trisha, question. Now that Bethesda has sold the rights to Fallout to TV and are probably sitting on a massive McScrooge duck pile of gold coins, do you think that they should continue their bullshit of doing monthly, subscriptions and things like that to continue playing Fallout games?
I mean, I am never a fan of recurring purchases or after you initially purchase the game, having any kind of in-app purchases or anything like that after the fact. I would rather pay $60 for a AAA title and then be done paying for it. But that's just me. I know it's a lot more lucrative for games devs and publishers to monetize on a recurring basis. So whatever. I don't know that it will stop that process for them, to answer your question. I'm just excited that we're getting a TV series based in the Fallout universe from the creators of Westworld. I know, Maude, you've had, like, mixed reactions to Westworld over the seasons.
Season 1 was great. Season 2, they tried something new, and it just fell apart. Season 3, they completely pivoted again and made it character-based instead of world-building, even though I felt their world-building was stronger. Then second went into more character, and then third was character but done better.
I liked it. I'm on board for the ride. If they're going to make a Fallout series, I am down for it. And, you know, there's been a lot of jokes online about, like, yeah, but will the TV series involve a bunch of glitches to make it more authentic? You know, I honestly, one of the things I like so much about the Fallout series is the lore. So if you're going to give me a TV series based on the lore, I'm down for that. And again, I mean, Westworld is post-apocalyptic, so they're kind of in their genre. What do you think, Amy?
Well, I made it through one episode of Westworld, but it was pretty much just because I was like, okay, I'm going to try something else right now. I do like post-apocalyptic things, but you have to be in the mood for it. But regardless, I mean, this is going to take a little while, so who knows what our life will be like when it comes out. So, curious.
War never changes.
There you go. What are you stoked for this mod? Are you into it, or are you a little nervous because of the team working on it?
I have no problem with the team working on it. I think Westworld looks amazing and it had a lot of potential. I think Westworld was kind of written as brand new IP. I don't think it was based on a book, was it?
I thought that it was.
We're going to get some fact checking up in this biz.
Doing it right now.
Because Fallout does have an extensive lore, it has been going on for, you know, a little bit longer, decades.
So it began in 1973 with the release of the film Westworld. So there was a 1973 Westworld, apparently.
I just became the Fallout thumb responding to that.
Hilarious. And then it was followed by a sequel film in 76 called Future World. In 1980, there was a short-lived television series Beyond Westworld. And
Westworld.
this was all before HBO's Westworld.
Gotcha. Well, today I learned.
And yeah, Gecko8553 in chat says, I remember that movie. STS says Anthony Hopkins was in the film. Okay.
Anthony Hopkins is in the show. That's why, I'm guessing. Oh, full circle. That was lost on me.
Ollie Morrison says, yep, the original Westworld is a stone cold classic. Huzzah!
There has been a lot of times when video games haven't translated into a different genre yet, movies especially. I feel like something recently has worked quite well. I'll be interested to see it. But I mean, is it going to be from first person? Probably not. I don't know. The concept of having a shelter and like vaults to override the nuclear destruction that happens in the kind of ish near future. That's a great premise, you know, because we are hurtling towards that future.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. STS 2884 in chat says, is this the first video game TV show? I would argue that Witcher could be considered a video game TV show, even though Witcher was based on the books. They said, you know, this is based specifically on the books, not necessarily the video game, but what people's preconceived notions are from Witcher, I would say, are heavily impacted by the video game series.
It has the same sort of look and tone of the video game, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. Awesome. Well, Amy, thank you so much for the news. Appreciate you.
Little news lady coming in from Geek Bomb News, Channel 4 News.
Thanks, Amy. We'll see you in a bit.
Playing. What you playing? Oh, really? What's it like?
I'm playing The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I have been streaming it on this very Twitch channel, and I went into it very hesitant. I was like, you know, I might not have the mental and emotional strength, given everything else going on in the world right now, to play this game. I know the Last of Us series can be incredibly daunting and incredibly heavy. And I mean, the story that they're setting out to tell is not a happy one. So if you're looking for video games as an escape to a happier place, this is not it, I would argue.
I'm talking about this a lot because the book that I'm doing for book club, which I'm going to chat about in the R segment, a lot of things coming up now, and this is a big portion of art where it's not enjoyable, but it's really good. Mm-hmm. And those are not obviously mutually exclusive, where it's like you can, you know, survive it, last through it, but realize like the scope of it and how well it was made and the impacts that it's had, but obviously not be there for a real good time.
Right. And I mean, I have not even gotten into the real meat and potatoes of this game yet. The story that Naughty Dog tells, and I see some people in chat saying they finished it and kind of the roller coaster of emotions that they went on with it. I have a feeling it's going to get a lot darker before it gets better, if it gets better at all. But I love emotionally impactful stories that make you think later. I mean, there's a lot of films I've watched, games I've played, books I've read where it's a slog. It's a real slug to get through. But when you're done, you're like, I'm glad I experienced that. And I'm glad I went through that. And I feel like a stronger, better person because I went through it. And so I have to say, I thought I was going into The Last of Us 2, like, ooh, we'll see if we can even finish this stream. I might have to take a break and play Magic the Gathering, to being addicted to the story and not wanting to put it down. So it's been hard for me to take breaks in between streams because I want to stream the whole thing, because I just want to know what happens next. Even though I know it's going to be something awful, I need to know how the story ends. So that's how I've been playing. Of course, Naughty Dog, and a lot of people have been saying this in their reviews, the voice acting's amazing. Graphically, the game is amazing. The sound design's amazing. Like, technically, the game is a masterpiece. It's very hard to argue with that. The people who have problems with it, a lot of them have problems with the story and the way that the story is told. I am not having a problem with that at the point in the game that I'm at right now.
Okay. What about some of this backlash that's happening from The Last of Us? Like some, come on, internet. Some men not liking a particular body type, saying it's not feminine enough for what they're used to. Yeah, she had guns. I don't know if you kind of caught it before, but I've been lifting.
Get it?
Like
I have actually
Maybe
been
got
too.
a
I
line.
don't feel like mine are super great, but I have also been trying to work out a bit
Do you have
and
a
get a little bit
license to carry
stronger.
that?
What?
Do you have a license to carry that gun?
I know, right? I wish I wish that that's what people said when they saw this, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people have issues with the depiction of Abby, and you know how buff she is, and that she's not more traditionally feminine forward. I think if you were living in the apocalypse and you were fighting off hordes of infected all of the time, you would probably be pretty buff. Like, let's be for real. You would probably be pretty buff. And I have friends in real life that have a similar body type to Abby, so it's not weird to me. But you know, some people are finding it very strange. And I think it's the same people who are finding it very strange that there is a same-sex female relationship in the game. That people are very upset that it's virtue signaling, that is the main relationship as you go through. But to me, again, I have a lot of friends that are in same-sex relationships. The fact that same-sex relationships exist is not weird or off-putting to me. It doesn't feel out of the ordinary.
Like, that term is, you're doing something about it. Screw you. It's like, what? Just like social justice warrior. It's like, that's not even an insult.
Man. I know, when I explained to Nate what SJW meant, he was like, social justice warrior? That sounds awesome. We should all want to be warriors for social justice. Like, what a cool title. People are using that as an insult, and it just made me laugh because I'm so ingrained in internet culture. But just as someone who's not in that culture at all, they were like, that's a badass name.
I was going to be, speaking of names, I was going to be Abby.
Your name was going to be Abby, like Abigail, or just Abby?
Abby.
Cute. Well, that's like, I'm Trisha, not Patricia.
Yeah. I was going to be Abby Garrett. Abby Garrett.
I like that.
And like, my radio career would have been so much better than, hi, Maude Garrett. Hi, I'm Maude Garrett.
Then you would have never been able to be the moderator.
That's a good point, but I would have been able to be, so I don't know, chat's going to do it. Do the work for me. What kind of puns could I have used with Abby? This is my what if, alternate reality. Maude doesn't exist. Abby's in town now. If I was a guy, I was going to be called Clancy.
Oh.
Amy is wincing.
Clancy
see you.
Garrett? Well, let's just all be happy that that's not the name. That's not the name they went with. All right, Abby, what you playing?
Oh, so I actually haven't really been playing video games. I'm done with Animal Crossing, as I have explored in the last couple of episodes, that I'm just, you know what, even though there's that new DLC, will I? Probably not. I went back into Final Fantasy last night. I am not focusing. It's a little bit grindy for me. It's a little bit repetitive. And Aerith is just like, are you sure you want to go into my house yet? And I'm like, yeah. Actually, Cloud's like so dismissive. It's kind of wonderful. But at one stage, like, the kids were trying to chat to him and he was awful. And she's like, you could at least pretend that you care, like when you're chatting with a kid. And I was like, Cloud, that was a dick move.
Did you go straight into the orphanage and steal the loot in there yet?
No. That's what I'll be doing after this. But something that was really, really cool that I did do, and I want to shout out Satine Phoenix. She is in the Dungeons and Dragons community. She is a legendary DM in her own right. These are the images that I'm using to kind of talk about the fact that her and I played a one-shot last Friday, a week ago. She has a Patreon where she will do group games and one-on-ones. And I had to ask, I was like, how do you do a one-on-one Dungeons and Dragons game?
Oh, and that's how I grew up playing.
Really? Just one-on-ones?
Yeah.
I just thought it was so fun because I've only ever played in group scenarios. And because like we were supposed to be playing with a new group, which I was super, super excited about, but then a couple of them got busy and she's like, we'll still just do it. And it's just going to be you, me, and my boyfriend Heath. And I was just like, babe, have the night off. Like, you don't have to entertain me. And then I am so glad she went through, which is she's like, no, I want to practice this because of what I'm doing with Patreon. I had the best night. This one shot lasted about not even 3 hours, 8:30 to 11, 2.5 hours. The scenario she put us in, she's like focusing on role playing more. And I created a reignited a fire genasi character that I had from about 1.5 years ago that only ever got one session in. So it was great to be able to do that. And just the mesh of combat and problem solving, the whole thing together, she did such an amazing job, and I really wanted to take this time to sing her praises. And I'm not sure if anyone's into D&D, but want to have like a one-on-one experience. Just my love to Satine Phoenix, because she's DM'd me during Sirens 2 or 3 years ago, but to see her in this capacity, like no cameras on, it was all about the gameplay. Like, she's a machine. It was wonderful. So
that's awesome.
That's what I was playing.
Yeah, that's awesome. One-on-ones, I always felt like I was so spoiled growing up playing one-on-ones because you move through everything so much faster, combat so much faster. Like, you can get through an adventure that in a group would take 5 to 6 hours in, like you said, like between 2 to 4. And you're never having those moments where you're just like waiting because someone else is having a moment or going through something big. Like,
oh, wait,
you're
is
really
it my
spoiled.
turn? What's happening?
Yeah, you're really spoiled. It's all about you, and you can do whatever you want the entire time. I, all through high school and the first part of college, the person I was dating in my long-term high school relationship was the DM for our group. So anytime he and I would get together, because we were super nerd kids, you know, normally when you're like, when me and my boyfriend get together, something sexy follows. We were like, when me and my boyfriend get together, we play Dungeons and Dragons.
And they're like, oh yeah, that's a no.
Yeah, no, we play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, he would run one-off campaigns for me all the time because we would invite our other players, and if they couldn't make it, it was just me and him. We still did it. We still had a great time.
Oh, I love hearing that. That's great.
Yeah.
I gotta play more D&D. I'm actually going to be playing some more D&D. Sunday, guys, for, wait, not this Sunday, whenever it is. When is Virtual Comic-Con? I'm going to be playing a game on Virtual Comic-Con. It's only just been confirmed, and I'm playing with the likes of B-Dave Walters and Kate Welsh from Wizards of the Coast.
Awesome.
Joe Manganiello is going to be on that as well.
Awesome.
Xanderific. Yeah, it'll be really, really cool.
That's really fun. I'm so happy for you. That sounds so awesome. So yeah, make sure that you...
We need to play, Trish.
What?
We need to play D&D. My group that I was DMing, they've kind of like asked for a little bit of time out during lockdown because it's a, you know, it's a weird time. So...
Let me know. I'm down. I'm about to do a new D&D series with Newegg, which is so funny. Because they, I mean, they never do tabletop RPGs. But can you hear my son roaring in the background? There's a monster roaring in the background. But Newegg, where I host a lot of like tech reviews and interviews, and we talk about PC building and computer parts. Obviously the people who are into that are also into video games, but there are also a lot of people in that company that want to play tabletop RPGs, and they were like, while we're all in lockdown, let's run a game, and why the heck not? We'll put it up on the channels. That sounds great. So we're going to do that. So who knows if there will even be an audience, because I think they're going to put it on Newegg's channels, and everyone that tunes into Newegg wants to know about the latest GPU. They're not necessarily interested in a D&D campaign. But we'll see. Now. I'm just excited because, well, we roped Nate into playing. Hey! So Nate's going to play on the series, which is fun. And I'm just excited because Nate and I are going to be able to play together for the first time in ages. So it should be really good. It should be really, really good. So yes, if you guys want more D&D, check it out soon because there will be lots of it around. And Maude, make sure to let us know when your virtual Comic-Con D&D sesh is.
I will. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be good. Good lot of people in that one. Well, there it is. P playing for Power for the week. Thank you, Trisha, for letting us know. Thank you, Amy, for delivering the news.
And let's bring in
one
Amy.
Out of 3.
Let's bring in Amy for Bombs Away Q&A.
I do that every time. You're like, let me ask you a question. And I'm like, all right, we'll wrap the show. Okay.
Yes.
Bombs Away Q&A.
I will be getting one from Twitch live, so make sure you get those in. This one is from Patreon, patreon.com/geekbomb. This one's from Robert. May I please ask for an update on the return of Fungeons and Flagons?
Timing! Couldn't be better. Well, because I do have no weekly game, I have been thinking a lot the last week about Fungeons and Flagons because it's been 18 months since the last season.
Wow.
Where did that time go? So yes, I'm thinking that it's the tech side that's probably going to bog me down the most. But I would love to do a weekly Fungeons and Flagons streamed. And I've got a couple of peeps in mind that I think would be really cool to game with. I might be working with like a creative person, since I've like rinsed the sponge of all of my brilliant ideas. But I think that if there's ever a time to do an online one, I just don't know if it'll translate as well, because I really liked being in the same room as everyone, but we'll see. But yes, to answer your question, Robert, I have not forgotten at all. If anything, that is more likely than ever, and the wheels are in motion.
I've also heard from viewers that watching remote D&D to some people is better, because you get to see everyone's facial expressions all the time. Okay. As opposed to when you're watching everybody filmed in the same room. Normally the camera's focused on one or just a few of the players, and you're not getting to see everyone the whole time. In most of the layouts where people are separate, you're seeing everyone the whole time. So that was just an interesting thing.
Everyone in the same image. Mm-hmm. That's good to know.
Yeah, right? All right, awesome. Thank you for that question.
Yay. This next question is from the Catnip Ninja. What game would you say is the best escape from the reality of what 2020 has been?
Not Last of Us.
Not Last of Us.
Oh, Animal Crossing.
Probably, yeah. I have not played Animal. For me, it's been Magic the Gathering. Nice. Which is funny for me to say while I'm wearing a Hearthstone shirt. I still play Hearthstone, but going back and forth is very confusing. But I recently decided, like, you know what? It's been a while since I picked up Magic the Gathering. I'm going to get back into Magic the Gathering. So that's been my escape recently. But yes, I would say on the whole, Maude, you called it.
With Magic the Gathering, though, it's a twofer, because you're getting a lot of action playing Magic the Gathering, because you're tapping that man. No. tapping the man.
In all the years I spent playing Magic the Gathering in high school with my significant other, I never thought of that once. Shame on me.
Well, shame on me, really.
Oh my goodness, too funny. Too funny. All right, Amy, thank you so much for the questions, love.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I already did my exit spiel.
Okay, ready? And here we go. Maude, exit spiel.
Alrighty. That was the playing competitive power up, but that's just one of three. We still have watching and reading still coming. Amy's going to be back delivering not only the news, but bums away. When will I remember that? Not today. But don't go anywhere, or make sure you're subscribing to Geek Bomb. Make sure you are following or subscribe to Trisha's channel. Thank you for joining us live if you are live. If you're watching later or listening to on the podcast, that's awesome as well. You can get your questions in advance with priority treatment on patreon.com/geekbomb, where you'll also find Power Down, which we'll be doing after this episode. So yeah, everyone wins. But next video coming up right now. Watch out.
Watch out watching.